I wrote down a little statement that I want to read out before going into this. Uh, this is going to be basically just a long video of me talking mostly about myself. I'm not going to pretend that it's something that a lot of people want to listen to, and I'm not going to try and convince anyone to watch it. At the same time, though, if there are some people who might get something out of watching this, it'd be nice to hear from you. But yeah, at the risk of sounding vain, my ramblings might give you some ideas or maybe answer some questions. But at the very least, this will just be a way for me to document this point in my life in some kind of natural way. But I understand that it could be boring, so tell me what you think. The rest of the stuff I've got here is just notes of stuff I want to talk about. So the first thing, why did I just randomly start making YouTube videos? And I've only made a few, but basically, to answer this, I kind of need to recap, like, I guess sort of like what I've been doing recently, and also kind of everything that's led up to this point without, doing like my life story. I kind of need to do a little bit of a life story. Basically, when I was a kid, one of the first hobbies I had was filmmaking, just in a really childish way. My parents had like a tape video camera, and I remember making like some Matrix videos with my old friend, and you're making like little short stop motion clips, like instead of actual frames, just like pressing record and stopping, just stupid stuff like that. But I kept that hobby through high school and stuff, and also started playing guitar and started playing in a band in high school. But I was also still making videos, and even did like the school film festivals and stuff, and did pretty well in the film festivals. But even though I wasn't really like thinking that it was something that I was going to study at uni or something, I still sort of put my best foot forward there and just tried to do like something I thought was cool, and it seemed other people thought it was cool too. But yeah, so then I started uni because I was also really interested in design. So I started studying design, and was no longer able to play in a band anymore. And I realized that being able to do things like making videos and playing in a band was kind of my creative outlet. And playing guitar and stuff was a creative outlet, even though I wasn't doing it that much. But once I was at uni, I didn't really have like somewhere to put that sort of creative energy into, like anything outside of uni projects and stuff. But that was around the time I met a friend, Tom, who had done a little bit of party DJing and stuff in the past. And he taught me how to DJ, and then I started getting some sets at clubs, and all of a sudden, had a few residencies at places around Melbourne, and it became a regular thing. And before that, I wasn't really that into like electronic music or house music or anything, but I think it was just something that I picked up quickly, and it was novel to me, and I was having fun doing it. So that became my creative outlet, because I wasn't able to find anyone else. There wasn't really anyone around me that was playing instruments or that I could start a band with or something like that, which is probably what I would have rather be doing, honestly. But it's not to say that I didn't enjoy DJing. I had heaps of fun the time that I spent DJing. But yeah, so then I finished uni, and was kind of still DJing a bit, but I wasn't really like finding it that, I didn't have that much passion for it, I guess. So I decided now I want to focus my attention on actually making my own music. Not necessarily, I wasn't thinking electronic music. It was more like indie or alternative rock or something like that. and I really thought, yeah, I can focus on that now, and that'll become my next thing, and that I'll be able to pick that up quickly. But I didn't pick it up that quickly. Well, I sort of started a lot of projects and didn't really finish much. And I was kind of getting discouraged because the stuff I was making I wasn't that proud of. I think a lot of that comes from sort of like this thing in high school where like if you try too hard at something, people see it as being uncool. And one thing I wanted to do with the music is to start singing. And that is like something that I think I'm able to do, not amazingly well, but to a good enough level that it's not like bad. But yeah, I've got this kind of mental block where I don't want to show people's songs where I'm singing, because it's like that thing of like I'm trying to like, oh, look, he thinks he's a singer now, like, and yeah, I don't know. It's just that like I also just really don't want to show people something that I'm not 100% confident that they'll like. Like I'm worried that I'll put something out and then people will go, yeah, it's okay. And then like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit of a perfectionist, but I want to be sure that it's like good before anyone sees it. But yeah, so that's kind of was a discouraging thing. So it kind of stopped me from putting out any music. But yeah, so then I was still focusing on my design stuff, working and everything. And I realized that I wanted to work somewhere else in another country. And I went traveling and met some people here in Berlin, and realized that there was a lot of music tech related companies here that I could potentially work for. And that's obviously something I'm interested in, playing music and everything. And it combines those two worlds of design and music together. So I came over here and didn't have really any job prospects or anything. I had some companies in my mind that I wanted to try get a job with, but nothing really, no leads or anything. But I met some people through like music tech meetups and stuff. Found a company that I'm working for now. Basically just cold called them, turned up at their doorstep with a portfolio and was like, I want to work here, have a look at this. And yeah, it worked out really well. Like the next day they were like, yeah, we're not offering a job, but like maybe we can give you a contract for something we're doing at the moment. And then sort of went away and then came back and he's like, actually, the more I think about it, the more I realize like it would be good to have you here consistently. So yeah, I'm doing that. I'm not working, I'm just sort of doing part-time, but it's something that I'm really enjoying, and it's the perfect kind of work for me. But creative outlet wise, I'm still like trying to do this music thing, but not really like, it's like, I find myself creating a lot of stuff, and part of the fun of creating stuff is the actual process of doing it, but then also the reward of seeing the result at the end. And then the last part of it is like sharing that result with other people. And if other people enjoy it, then that's like, you know, the perfect combination, because then you're getting like, you've created some good experience for somebody else, and then you can share with it. You can share that experience together, and you've got like the pride of knowing that you created something that other people enjoy. But yeah, I haven't been getting that through music just because I'm not sharing anything with people. And even the second part, which is like seeing the result, I'm sort of seeing the results and knowing like, yeah, this is pretty good, but I'm not like super happy with it. So I think unconsciously that kind of made me want to start making videos again, because it was something where I was like, I know I can do something like making a video and I know I can finish it. And most of the time, like when I make something and put it out there, it gets a good response. And like I'm comfortable doing it because I've done it lots of times before. So yeah, it was just like, I guess that was my reason why I wanted to start doing videos again. But also like, it's just a hobby that I've had for ages. And I was realizing that I had just totally forgotten about it, and I just was starting to remember like how much I loved making videos just about whatever, like even if it's just random stupid things I'm putting on Instagram stories or something. I'm like, this is almost like I find it funny, like random stuff I do on Instagram. So I'm like, I think like other people would think this is funny maybe, and if they don't, then whatever. But I just started feeling like I wanted to share more stuff, and also I wanted to have more of like a collection of completed videos and things on a YouTube channel that people could go through and look at, because I've also got a lot of projects that I've done, like video projects that I've just made for my own fun, which are sitting on hard drives and stuff, and no one really sees them. Like, you know, I might have shown like a few friends or something, but yeah, I wanted to have something where I could put all of that stuff onto a YouTube channel. So I'm like slowly trying to do that, but yeah, there's not really much on there now, but it's coming. But also, my intentions with it is not to like become a YouTuber or like to, I'm not expecting that it's going to be like a source of income for me or something. Like, I don't want to push it as if like, you know, all the like and subscribe stuff. Like, I just want somewhere to put it. I just want it as my creative outlet. That's basically what I'm saying. And that's the reason why I gave the backstory, is because I think that I have this consistent thing of needing a creative outlet in some area of my life. So yeah, at the moment, this is it. So what is this video? I guess basically it's kind of a podcast. And I named it How Original, because this has kind of been my attitude to making something like this. Actually, when I was 18, I wanted to make like a YouTube channel. And back then I was thinking like, I want to be a YouTuber. And I made this really lame, like vlog video. And I had like intro music and like an animated sequence at the beginning and at the end and stuff. And I watched it back and I was just like, this is so cringe. Like, I don't know. I was just, I think I left it on YouTube for a while and I just didn't tell anyone about it. And then at one point I was like, why have I still got that there? Like, it's so embarrassing. I need to get rid of it. But yeah, I've always had this kind of thing where I don't want to, like, I feel awkward if I'm looking like I'm really trying to do something, like I'm trying to be a YouTuber or trying to do whatever. But yeah, How Original, it's kind of because, like a few years ago, I decided I would like to make a podcast, and I just constantly have this thought that like, oh, I can't do it because so many other people do it, or like, oh, it's such a typical thing to want to make a podcast now because podcasts are like the hot thing or whatever. And especially now because like everyone's home doing nothing because of coronavirus. And like this is actually making people want to do podcasts. And I'm like awkwardly starting it now. And I'm like, I'm not doing this because of coronavirus. Really, my like weekly schedule hasn't changed at all. But yeah, How Original, because like, yeah, it's the most obvious thing to do, a podcast. Like, but I'm like, you know, I became a DJ at the point where it was like, oh, every second person is a DJ. Like everyone wants to be a DJ. And yeah, like it's true. Like so many people each week, like a new friend of mine was like, oh, I'm DJing now. Like, you know, there's always events you're getting invited to and mixtapes you got to listen to and stuff. But, you know, even when the market was flooded with DJs, I still managed to like have fun with being a DJ. So I figure now the market's flooded with podcasts, like there's not really a reason why I can't enjoy having a podcast. If I'm going to call it that, I don't know, maybe it'll just be like a weekly long format video or something, but I don't want it to be like this. Like this is kind of just me. I guess for people that know me, like friends and family and stuff, this is kind of just an update of like what's been happening. And then I guess for anyone who would somehow find this to watch it and doesn't know me, then it's kind of an introduction. But yeah, like I want to do stuff with friends, like chatting with friends and you know, about some other stuff other than me. But yeah. Yeah, so basically I've just avoided doing it for a long time. I did actually film a podcast once with my friend Tom, just kind of as a tester, and it went reasonably well, but I didn't like upload it or anything because I was kind of not really sure about it, and I also wasn't sure when I was going to do the next one. And it had a lot of topical stuff in it about like events that were happening around that time, so I didn't upload it because once it got, you know, a month down the track, I was like, doesn't make sense to put this up anymore. But yeah, that was like at least 2 years ago, I think. And then since then, I've tried to find other people who would be interested in doing something like this with me. And I've kind of just realized like, if I'm always waiting for somebody else to do it, like to have the same sort of idea in their head as me that like they want to do this regularly and that kind of thing, it was just not happening. Like I wasn't able to like find somebody who I knew like we could reliably do this every week or something. So I just thought I could just do it on my own. Like if I'm making a YouTube channel with all my, you know, random creative outlet type videos, I might as well just do it. And yeah, I was kind of like, had this thing of always being afraid of being like lame for like trying to do something. But now like, I think I'm just old enough where I'm like, I don't care. Like, yeah, like I live on the other side of the world of most of the people who would judge me for it anyway. So it's like, whatever, I'm just doing it. And yeah, and if I don't do it, then that could also happen. Maybe this is the only one that I ever do. But yeah, speaking of old, I just had my birthday over the weekend. And I just thought it would be something funny to talk about. This is actually, I'm planning to make a video about this soon, but I had my first virtual birthday party. Because of the coronavirus, obviously everyone's quarantined. So you can't have any party or gathering or anything. So it was pretty inconvenient timing for my birthday. But I thought this is a cool opportunity to try something different. Like you know, I've always been kind of into like gaming in, I guess, kind of a casual way. But a lot of my friends, like I've got a small group of friends who I play online video games with and stuff sometimes, but a lot of my other friends are, you know, not really into that. So I was like, how can I do this in a way where it's like good, like high quality interactions and stuff with people in like a real virtual space that's accessible to everyone. And I tried a bunch of things like VR chat and like Second Life, and there's this other one, Sansa or something. They're all basically video games, but really like, I've got friends who are using Mac computers, and I've got friends who are not really, like who are on laptops or only have a phone or something, so they're just not really accessible. But I found this cool service called Mozilla Hubs, and it's like a browser-based VR chat type thing. And yeah, so we made an event and did it over the weekend, and there was, I guess in total, maybe like 20 or 30 people that came in through the night. And I think at one point there was maybe like 19 people or something on the actual server at once, which was pretty cool. A lot of people were having audio issues, like microphones not working and all that kind of stuff. But then when it all sort of settled down in the end, it was actually pretty funny. Like you're able to walk around and chat to people and everything. So I was screen capturing the whole time and also videoing myself. So I've got like 5 hours of footage or something. So hopefully I'll make something out of that, like a video explaining like the whole experience. something related back to this creative outlet type thing. I remember having this conversation with a friend from my hometown. I saw him at a party, and I think it was when I was DJing at the time, and he, I was doing a bunch of other stuff. He'd seen like video stuff that I'd done before. He was asking what I was doing with my life, and I was telling him, I'm studying to be a designer. And yeah, he said to me at this party, he's like, Jim, you always are trying to do like all these different things. Like you're always splitting your attention between like this thing of photography or videos or design or whatever it is. He's like, if you just focus on one of those things, like you could be actually good at it. That sounds like an insult. He was being genuine and nice. He was like, you could make something great out of one of those things if you like, just focus your attention on it. And that's something that kind of lingered with me for a while, and it sort of stresses me out too. Like, I'm always kind of thinking like, which is the thing that I'm actually the best at, like that I should spend all my time on, because maybe I should put the other stuff aside more and just look at them more as a hobby and really just focus on like the one thing that I'm best at, just so that I can actually like, I can get like, I can, how do I say it? Just like streamline my effort and my energy into one thing that's going to be the most productive, I guess. And yeah, it stresses me out because I think like I really love music and I love performing in front of people. I love playing in bands with people and stuff. That's probably like the most enjoyment I get from any hobby or something, is like playing music in front of people. So I think, that should be the number one thing that I focus on. But then I don't think that's the thing that I'm the best at. I think like I'm probably like better at design and stuff. Like really music wise, I'm like an average musician who's had some good opportunities. But like my best skill is probably the design stuff that I actually do for work. And I enjoy it, but not as much as I enjoy music. And then video making is like something where I am like moderately good at it. And I get like a fair bit of enjoyment out of it, but it's kind of somewhere in the middle. So I don't really want to like not do any of them really. And this is just like the realization I've had recently, is that I shouldn't stress myself out about trying to choose which one it is that I need to focus on, because I wrote this on my my Instagram account that I'm a mediocre polymath. I just pulled up here like the definition for polymath. It says, a polymath is an individual whose knowledge spans a significant number of subjects, known to draw on complex bodies of knowledge to solve specific problems. Now that like sounds, I don't want to sound like grandiose. Like I don't think that that's true about me, like all these positive aspects of it. I think like the negative side of that is like a description of me. So I wrote, I'm a mediocre polymath because, I'm splitting my attention between a number of different subjects, which I have like some knowledge in, but not like a lot of knowledge, like, jack of all trades, master of none, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I've just realized that, maybe that is like that's my thing, being a polymath or being a mediocre polymath. It's like my thing isn't one of those things and I have to choose which one it is. Like my thing is being all of those things. And that's a problem because, you can't successfully be all of those things. But I'm just realizing that if I want to do that, which I think it's how it has to go because I can't choose one, then it's just going to be about managing my time and energy better. So as much as people already know, like I'm really crazy about trying to be organized and everything, but really like that's kind of the reason why I force so many like organizational things into my life, is because I'm trying to achieve. I've just lost light. No idea what happened there. Fuck, what was I talking about? Yeah, so basically, right, it was the organizational stuff. It's like I have to force myself to be super organized and write lists and keep documents of, you know, all the kind of shit, like all the projects that I'm working on simultaneously, and like lists of all the things that I've, like the next steps that I need to achieve on a song that I'm working on, while also like some design project or whatever. So I keep lists of everything, but I'm kind of forced to do that because I'm splitting my energy between not just different aspects like music, video, photography, design, but within those aspects, I'm splitting my attention between different projects as well. Like, you know, I'll be working on 3 different songs, and then in the video stuff, like I'm focusing on like, oh yeah, I want to make this podcast, but also I want to make a video about this, virtual birthday party scenario. But and then I've also got a list of all these other video projects that I'm working on, and like a back catalog of stuff that I've already shot and half edited that I'm trying to do as well. And then photography, I've got like 10,000 photos or something that I took on my trip around Europe in 2018, and I'm still like trying to go through those and edit them and stuff and figure out what is even the purpose of those videos. Like, am I gonna put them on like a website or make like some photo album or something? And then design, like I've got my work stuff I'm doing, and then there's also like 3 personal projects that I have. Like I'm trying to redesign the electric guitar that I was working on as a uni project, and other kinds of stuff like a vocal isolation booth, bunch of random shit. So yeah, it's like a bit of a nightmare, like trying to split my attention between all these different things and not really like achieving any one of them to like a high standard. But that's just my life, I think. Like I think all I can do is just improve my organizational skills and time management and just try to get through them step by step. But the other thing that's really helping me out, and which something that I haven't allowed myself to do in the past, is to collaborate with people. And I think that's just like I think it's, yeah, I don't know. It's like a, how would I describe it? It's kind of a show-offy bullshit thing that I have in my head, that like I need to do all this stuff on my own, because then when I've got the finished result, then I can be like, yeah, I did that. Like that was all me. And, you know, like it might make you feel good for a second to say that, but you sound like an idiot when you say something like that. Like, I mean, some people might be impressed, but also it's like, it's, you know, someone who sees the end result will enjoy it, but not as much as if somebody was working with you on that project and they see the result with you. They're going to enjoy it a lot more, and you're probably going to both enjoy it a lot more because you did something together, and then other people get to share it. And I don't know, it's this bullshit thing that I felt like I have to do everything on my own, but it's ironic because I'm doing the podcast on my own, but but I want it to stay that way. So yeah, collaborating has been really helping me out. At the moment, my main focus is trying to get the music stuff happening again. And I've got 3 songs which I'm like mostly pretty happy with, that I think I want to release them as like an EP. And I met a guy that was living here in Berlin who helped me work on these songs, and he plays bass, and he recorded some bass on there. Like I previously, I was doing bass on all this stuff. Like I can play bass, and because I play guitar, but like this guy is way better at bass than I am. And when he was sitting there and we were working on these songs together, I'm like, this is moving so much faster because I know what I want, like what I want this section to sound like, and I know how to drive, like using Ableton and everything. I'm like, I know how to take the producer role here, and he can play, like he can just bang out 10 different ideas for this track where I would have been sitting here for hours just going like, oh, like how do I do this? And then if I finally think of what I want to play, then I've got to technically like be able to do it. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's way easier to do it with somebody else, especially someone who is like, that's their thing, and that is his thing. He's like a really good session musician. And drum wise, like I was programming in all the drums, in the computer, like this is where like a snare hit, kick drum, blah, blah, blah. And that sounds fine. Like if I wanted to, I could make it sound almost like a real person who's drumming. I would have to go through and spend hours like adjusting the velocity, like how hard they hit the drums, and like randomize the timing and all that kind of stuff. And I could do all that all on my own if I wanted to, but it'd be a shitload of work, and it's kind of not going to be as good a result as like a real drummer anyway. So I've been talking to a drummer who lives here in Berlin from Melbourne, from a band that I really like, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much about that because I want to make sure that actually happens first before I go saying like, oh, I'm going to work with this guy or whatever. But yeah, so that has been really helping, like just collaborating with people. So I think as I get better at managing my own energy and bringing in the right people to help out with things, I think, I can just accept that like this is what I'm like. I want to do all these different things, and it's definitely like I'm talking about it like it's a problem. It's a perfect example of a first world problem. I know a lot of people who struggle to think of what they want to actually do with their time or what they want to do with their life or for a job, and they just don't know. And for me to be sitting here saying like, oh, I can't choose which one of these things I want to do, it's kind of shitty because like at least I have something that I love doing, and I've got a job that I love and everything. But yeah, I just thought, it's worth mentioning that that's kind of the things that's been going through my head at the moment, and that's why like I haven't really been showing any music or anything, just because I think dividing my time has been affecting that as well. Anyway, what else have I got here? I wrote down here that that the music thing is important for me now because I've been writing my own music for a long time and not really showed any people. And I know there's like some old recordings of like songs that I covered and sent to like old ex-girlfriends and stuff, and like some other my friends have heard that, and that's embarrassing as fuck, but I just try not to think about it. But it pains me knowing that like I was really shit back then. Like it was really bad. And like that's kind of the only evidence people have of like anything that I've made musically. So I'm like really scared that I'm never going to be able to show something better than that. That like I was joking about this with someone the other day, that I'm not scared of dying, but I'm scared of dying before I've done, the things that I want to do and show people. Which for me, it's this music stuff. Like I just want to have, even if it's just one song or these 3 songs I'm working on, like I just want to have something that I'm proud of that I can show people and then I can be like, all right, now, like, at least you know that I can achieve something like this. But yeah, I wrote down here, it just made me laugh because I was like, I'm worried I'll die without people hearing my music. It's a bit over dramatic. I'm not really like that, but the point is, I've got a lot of unfinished stuff, and I've got a lot of stuff that I've worked on in the past that I've showed some people that I'd never put online or anything because I wasn't actually really proud of it. So I don't want them to be the only things that people have seen. So yeah, that's why I'm really trying to work on the music stuff now. But yeah, I think that's enough bullshit. This is, if you made it this far, then I'm impressed. Let me know if this was the most boring thing ever, or yeah. But hopefully I'll do something again soon with other people. I wrote on here too, I also want to do like some shout outs. I thought it'd be good just to like talk about, you know, like what music and stuff I've been listening to, but I just want to do some quick shout outs to people. One is some friends in Melbourne play in a band called Sunnyside, and I've been listening to their EP. They released this EP a few months ago, and that's been on repeat on my phone for like a good 2 or 3 months. So I thought I'd shout out to them because, you know, when you know guys in a band and you tell them like, oh man, your album's really good, like I've been listening to it and stuff, they kind of take it as like, oh yeah, like it's my friend, of course he's going to listen to it, he knows who I am, but like he's obviously just telling me what I want to hear because you know, you're friends, so you want to make them happy. But I genuinely have been listening to this Sunnyside EP like almost every day. Like it's actually fucking really good. It's called Momentum, and it's on you know, Spotify and Google and YouTube and everything. So Momentum by Sunnyside, check it out. Also, my own band from Melbourne that I was playing in, the Tropicals, we even though the EP was meant to be released in like July last year, we're coming a lot closer to releasing it now. Just probably going to do some mastering, but all the tracks are pretty much done. And hopefully, yeah, that'll start happening now because everyone's at home with nothing to do. So hopefully we can get that mastered. The other shout out was for Inward Goods. My friend Lester and a bunch of other guys have been involved in organising this festival. Lester's one of the guys from the band. And that's one of the reasons why the EP hasn't happened. And unfortunately, like it was planned to go ahead in April, and they've had to postpone it. So I think it's postponed to October. But yeah, I was going to shout out. I actually wrote this down before the Corona stuff. I was going to shout out to him to say like, you know, what an awesome effort he's put into organising this festival, and it was looking legit. Like they've got a website and all the lineup and everything looks awesome. And I went to, they had like a smaller version of this festival the year before, and I went to that, and it was like one of the best weekends I've had ever. Like the location is awesome, like really cool bunch of people there, good music, and you know, camping just like in a really nice setting. And yeah, just the crew of people that were there was awesome. So I think if you get a chance to go to that, definitely do it. It's in Gippsland. So for any people from my hometown, go and check that out. I had another shout out for my friends Tom, the guy who taught me to DJ and that I used to make videos with, and Hammy. I don't know if this was legit or not, but they posted something recently that they were the #1 ad on YouTube because they work for Sportsbet, and I can't remember who they beat out, but there was these other huge companies and they beat them, like they were the #1 ad for the day. So I thought that was pretty good effort. So shout out to them. And also my friend Jess Tailby, she's a painter and a really good friend from Melbourne. She had her first exhibition in Melbourne just, yeah, I wrote this a while ago. So it was maybe even a month ago, a few weeks ago. But yeah, shout out to Jess because that's awesome. She's been doing painting for a long time, and her head's in the right place. She auctioned off one of her paintings when the Amazon rainforest fires were happening and raised a bunch of money for that, which is really cool. So yeah, she hasn't really she's more concerned about it was just nice that she was more concerned about the rainforest stuff than making money from the painting. So I don't know why I struggled to spit that out, but yeah. So congrats to Jess, because she's finally actually like getting some commercial recognition and doing exhibitions and stuff, which is awesome. And she was going to come and visit me, but now no one can come here, so it'll all happen again soon, I guess. So we'll do this again soon, or maybe we won't. Whatever.